Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll try to land this plane within my time. I want to tell you briefly how I see the world and invite you to tell me if I'm wrong. I think President Xi and President Putin and the Ayatollah in Iran are working together. I think that President Xi is the quarterback. I think their goal is to have Russia dominate Central and Eastern Europe, to have Iran dominate the Middle East, and to have China dominate the Indo-Pacific while being free to roam in sub-Saharan Africa and South America and space. I do not want America to be the world's policeman, but I don't want President Xi or President Putin or Iran to be the world's policeman either. Do I see the world in the right way?
Folks, welcome back to the channel. If you care about this country, our freedom, our sovereignty, our future, you're going to want to hear what just went down on Capitol Hill, because what I just watched in this congressional hearing is exactly why we're in the mess we're in today. We've got enemies circling us, allies dragging their feet, and bureaucrats up to their necks in red tape while the clock ticks on our national security.
The right way?
I would tell you, Senator, that we are seeing them. I don't know specifically what their ambitions are, but we do see them working together and doing some of those things against our interest.
General, I need you to, both of you fine gentlemen, to look us in the eye and tell us what you think. I understand you got to choose your words carefully. You don't want to get put on double secret probation. But we've got some hard decisions to make here. And there's a consensus, I think, in the Congress to give you more money. Because I think we need to spend more money on defense. But you're going to have to give us straight answers and tell us what you think. Mr. Secretary, am I right or wrong?
Senator, your question of one of your colleagues said it earlier, $185 billion is a lot of money. If we are given more money than is in the budget that you've seen, we will be good stewards of that and innovate even faster. I think what we are saying to this committee is we believe we can transform the Army with those amount of dollars as long as we are able to use them the way that we want to, and we are not
Tell
jammed.
me again the amount of money you need for the Army transformation.
We can use our current budget and transform the Army as long as we're able to spend it the way that we believe is right.
How much money do you think we need to spend as a country to maintain or either, depending on your perspective, reach parity with China?
I think the president has mentioned between the two bills $1 trillion for the DOD.
Okay. Do you trust Europe to spend more money?
I'm sorry, Europe.
Do you trust Germany to spend more money? They've talked a good game.
When I was out with NATO with Ambassador Whitaker and talked to a lot of our colleagues in the NATO countries, and as far as I could tell qualitatively, they believed it seemed to be that they were going to start to spend significantly more.
General, do you trust the United Kingdom to follow through and spend more money?
All I've gotten, Senator, is what they said that they were going to do with their new defense review, that they said that they were going to raise, their spending on defense.
Based
So
on your
it'll remain to be
experience,
seen.
do you believe them?
I think we're big believers in we'll see. I think action is what counts in some of this. There's certainly been a whole bunch of our allies that have done that when they've called for.
Tell me, General, how you think the war in Ukraine relates to our struggle with China. Are the two inextricably linked, or do the two have nothing to do with each other?
Well, I think, Senator, everybody is watching that fight right now, taking lessons from it. I think everybody's doing that. I think everybody is looking. I get a lot of comments.
General, I know everybody's watching. I got that part. We're all watching. Do you think what we do in Ukraine impacts our struggle with China or not? Give me a straight answer.
I do think our partners and allies are watching what we're doing and how that turns out. Yes, Senator, I agree with that.
All right. Last question, because I'm going to land this plane. How's our recruiting coming?
We're dominating recruiting and retention.
Why is it better?
That we made some structural changes and the return to a focus on lethality among our leadership.
What structural changes did you make?
We created a future soldiers prep program that gets soldiers or future soldiers who are right on the edge and helps get them a little bit more training before they join. And then there were problems with when we transitioned over to digital medical records. We were catching things when kids were younger, and we didn't have in place the mechanisms to get those waivers, and we have improved there dramatically.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
A U.S. senator laid it out plain and simple. President Xi of China, Putin of Russia, and the regime in Iran are working together. Xi's calling the plays, Putin's pushing into Europe, Iran's destabilizing the Middle East, and China? They've got their eyes on the Indo-Pacific, Africa, South America, even space. These guys aren't messing around, folks. They're forming an anti-American axis. And what are we doing? I'll tell you what we're doing. We've got military officials who are afraid to speak plainly. I get it. They're trying to be diplomatic, but the American people deserve honesty. If we're going to hand over another $1 trillion to the Department of Defense, we better know exactly what the threat is and how we're going to beat it. And guess what? The senator was right. 100% right. These regimes are not just working independently. They are coordinating. Xi's the quarterback. He's organizing a geopolitical blitz against the free world. If we don't start playing offense, America is going to find itself on the losing end of history. Let me be real clear, I don't want America to be the world's policeman either. We don't need to be cleaning up every mess on the planet, but I'll be damned if I sit back and let China or Iran play that role instead. The world is safer when America is strong, period. The military says they can transform the army if we just let them use the budget the way they want. Okay, sounds good, but how about this? Let's stop spending money on woke diversity training and climate change seminars in the Pentagon and put it toward firepower, strategy, and troop readiness. $1 trillion, that's the number. And before anyone cries about the price tag, let me remind you, we blow more than that on bloated bureaucracy and foreign aid to countries that hate us. National defense is the top job of our federal government, and right now we're playing catch-up. Now let's talk about Europe. Germany, the UK, they say they're going to spend more on defense, but saying and doing are two different things. I've seen more action from a DMV line than I have from some of our so-called allies. NATO needs to put up or shut up. America can't keep carrying the whole alliance on its back. And what about Ukraine? The senator asked a simple question. Does what we do in Ukraine affect our position against China? The answer? Absolutely yes. The world is watching. China's watching. If we cave to Russia, it sends a signal to Beijing that they can take Taiwan with no real consequences. Let me make something else clear. This isn't just about tanks and missiles. This is about morale, about will, about recruitment, and guess what? We're finally seeing some improvement in recruitment because we stopped scaring off patriots with left-wing social experiments. The Future Soldiers Prep program is a good step, but we need to go further. Bring back pride and service. Bring back discipline. And for heaven's sake, stop apologizing for wanting to win wars. If you're sick of weakness, if you're sick of watching America be lectured by globalists, undermined by enemies, and betrayed by bureaucrats, then it's time to speak up, call your reps, demand a strong national defense, demand accountability, and demand that we stop treating enemies like partners and start treating them like the threats they are. Thanks for watching, Patriots. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so big tech doesn't bury this truth. Stay strong, stay free, and God bless the United States of America.